Hon and Tatame wisdom. Do you know someone who lives their entire life trying to please everyone around them? Someone who says yes when they want to say no. Someone who smiles when they're dying inside. Someone who has spent so many years wearing a mask that they've forgotten what their real face looks like. Maybe that person is you. I'm going to tell you about a woman named Sarah who was so obsessed with what other people thought that she almost lost herself completely. But more importantly, I'm going to show you an ancient Japanese wisdom that helped her break free. A wisdom so counterintuitive that it will challenge everything you think you know about authenticity and living true to yourself. But I need to warn you, this isn't about becoming brutally honest and saying whatever you want. It's not about not giving a damn or burning bridges. It's something far more sophisticated, far more powerful, and far more aligned with how the world actually works. Before we begin, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. What's one thing you pretend to be that you're not? I read every comment, and your honesty might help someone else realize they're not alone. Thank you for being here. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. The Woman Who Disappeared. Sarah was 34 years old and couldn't remember the last time she said what she actually thought. At work, her boss asked, "Can you take on this extra project?" She wanted to scream no. She was already drowning. But she smiled and said, "Of course, happy to help." Her co-workers invited her to happy hour every Friday. She hated bars. The noise, the small talk, the pretending to be interested in conversations about nothing. But she went anyway because what would they think if she didn't? Her mother called every Sunday and talked for 2 hours about her neighbor's daughter who just got promoted, about her friend's son who just got married, about how Sarah should really think about settling down. Sarah sat there, phone pressed to her ear, saying, and "You're right, Mom," while her soul slowly withered. Her boyfriend of 3 years, Marcus, wanted to move in together. Sarah didn't. She loved having her own space, her own rhythm, her own silence. But when he brought it up at dinner, excited, eyes full of hope, she heard herself say, "That sounds great, let's do it." Every single day, Sarah woke up and put on a costume. The good employee, the fun co-worker, the dutiful daughter, the supportive girlfriend. And somewhere beneath all those costumes was a person she used to know. A person with opinions, preferences, boundaries. A person who had slowly been suffocated by the need to be liked. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. She was at work in a meeting, and her boss presented an idea that was fundamentally flawed. Sarah knew it. She had the data. She had the experience. She could see exactly why it would fail. Everyone around the table was nodding, agreeing, praising the brilliance of the plan. Her turn came. "Sarah, what do you think?" She opened her mouth. The truth was right there, ready to come out, and then she felt it. That familiar tightness in her chest, that voice in her head. "If you disagree, they'll think you're difficult. They'll think you're not a team player. They'll stop including you. I think it's a great idea," she heard herself say. The meeting ended. She went to the bathroom, locked herself in a stall, and cried. Not because the plan was bad, but because she had just watched herself disappear. Again. That night she sat on her couch staring at the wall and asked herself a question she'd been avoiding for years. Who am I when no one is watching? She didn't have an answer. Chapter 2. The Accidental Discovery. Sarah's college roommate, Keiko, was visiting from Japan. They hadn't seen each other in 5 years, but Keiko knew Sarah better than anyone. One look at her face and Keiko said, "You're doing it again, aren't you? The people-pleasing thing." Sarah tried to laugh it off. "I'm fine, just tired." "You're exhausted because you're living 2 lives, Keiko said. "Let me ask you something. In Japan, we have a concept called hane and tatemae. Do you remember me talking about this in college?" Sarah shook her head. Hon is your true feelings, your real thoughts, your authentic self. Tatemae is your public facade, what you show the world for the sake of harmony. And here's the part Americans always get wrong. Both are necessary. Both are real. The problem isn't that you have tatemae. The problem is that you've forgotten you also have hone. Sarah stared at her. "Wait, so you're saying it's okay to be fake?" "No," Keiko said. "I'm saying it's sophisticated to understand that you're a multifaceted human being who doesn't need to vomit your every feeling onto everyone around you. but you also don't need to bury your true self so deep that you suffocate. She pulled out her phone and showed Sarah the contact information for someone. Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, a Japanese psychologist in the city who specialized in cross-cultural identity issues. "Go see him," Keiko said. "He helped me when I first moved to America and felt like I was losing myself trying to be American enough. He'll help you." The following Thursday, Sarah sat in a minimalist office that smelled like green tea. Dr. Tanaka was in his 60s, with kind eyes and an unhurried way of speaking. "Tell me, Sarah, why are you here?" She told him everything. The meetings where she agreed when she disagreed. The relationship she wasn't sure she wanted. The life that felt like it belonged to someone else. When she finished, he said something that changed everything. "You think your problem is caring too much about others' opinions, but that's not your problem. Your problem is that you've confused politeness with self-betrayal." Chapter 3. The Wisdom of Two Faces. Dr. Tanaka drew 2 circles on a piece of paper. "Hon," he said, pointing to one circle, "your true feelings, your authentic desires, your real opinions." He pointed to the second circle. "Tatamai, your social face, the version of you that maintains harmony, that considers context, that understands not every thought needs to be spoken. In the West," he continued, "you're taught that authenticity means expressing every feeling, that boundaries are walls, that if you're not 100% yourself at all times, you're fake. This is a childish understanding of human complexity." Sarah felt defensive. "So I should just lie to everyone?" "No," Dr. Tanaka said calmly. "You should understand that you're not one person. You're many persons. The you at work is different from the you at home. The you with your mother is different from the you with friends. And all of these versions are real. The problem comes when you lose contact with your hun entirely." He leaned forward. "Let me ask you something. At that meeting where you agreed with your boss, what was your honey? That the idea was flawed and would waste time and resources. And your tatami, that it was great. And why did you choose tatami in that moment?" Sarah thought about it. "Because I didn't want conflict, because I wanted to be liked. So your tatame was protecting something. But what was it protecting?" She paused. "I guess my fear." "Exactly," Dr. Tanaka said. "You see, tatame is meant to protect harmony, to maintain relationships, to show respect for context. But you're using it to protect your fear of rejection. That's not tatame, that's just hiding." He continued, "True honi and tatame wisdom is understanding when to express your true feelings and when to hold them. It's about having both a strong core and a flexible exterior. Like bamboo in the wind. It bends, but it doesn't break because its root is strong." "So how do I know when to be honest and when to use tatame?" Dr. Tanaka smiled. "That's the art, and I'm going to teach you, but first you need to reconnect with your han. You need to remember who you are when the mask comes off." Chapter 4. The 3 Questions. Dr. Tanaka gave Sarah homework. Every night before bed, she had to write down answers to 3 questions. 1. What did I want to say today but didn't? 2. What did I agree to that I actually didn't want to do? 3. If no one's opinion mattered, what would I have done differently? The first night, Sarah stared at the blank page for 20 minutes. Then she started writing. "I wanted to tell Marcus that I'm not ready to move in together. I agreed to help my coworker move this weekend when I desperately need rest. If no one's opinion mattered, I would have ordered the food I wanted at lunch instead of getting the salad because everyone else was being healthy." By the end of the first week, she had filled 15 pages. "I wanted to tell my boss that the timeline was unrealistic. I agreed to go to my friend's birthday party, even though I'm exhausted. I wanted to tell my mother to stop comparing me to other people." She brought the journal to her next session. Dr. Tanaka read through it silently, then looked up. "Do you see the pattern?" Sarah nodded slowly. "I'm erasing myself constantly, multiple times a day." "Yes. And do you know what happens when you do this?" He didn't wait for her to answer. "Your honey doesn't disappear. It just goes underground. It becomes resentment. It becomes passive aggression. It becomes anxiety and depression. Because you can suppress your truth, but you can't eliminate it." He handed her the journal back. "Now comes the hard part. You're going to start expressing your hun, but not recklessly, strategically." Chapter 5. The Art of Strategic Honesty. Dr. Tanaka taught Sarah what he called the 3 levels of Hun expression. Level 1. Low stakes, high practice. Start expressing your true preferences in situations where nothing important is at risk. What you actually want for lunch, what movie you'd prefer to watch. Small truths to rebuild the muscle of self-expression. Level 2. Medium stakes, clear boundaries. Express your Han in relationships and situations that matter, but do it skillfully, not brutally, not aggressively, with Tatame's grace but Han's truth. Level 3. High stakes, non-negotiable core. Identify your absolute boundaries, the places where compromising your Han would be self-betrayal. Defend these calmly but firmly. But here's the secret, Dr. Tanaka said. Tatame isn't about lying, it's about delivery. You can say no with grace. You can disagree with respect. You can have boundaries without being brutal. He gave her a script for the meeting situation. I appreciate the creative thinking here, and I want to make sure we're setting this up for success. I have some concerns about the timeline and resources. Could we discuss potential challenges before we proceed? Same honey, different tatame, truth spoken, harmony maintained. Sarah practiced in small ways first. When her co-worker asked if she wanted to grab lunch, she said, "Actually, I need some quiet time today. Can we do it another time?" The world didn't end. Her co-worker said, "Sure, no problem." When her friend invited her to a party, she said, "I'm honored you thought of me, but I'm depleted right now and need to recharge. Let's catch up one-on-one soon instead." Her friend responded, "I totally get that. Thanks for being honest." Each small truth made her stronger. Chapter 6. The conversation that changed everything. 3 months in, Sarah finally had the conversation she'd been avoiding. Marcus was excited, showing her apartments online. "Look at this one. 2 bedrooms, great kitchen, we could move in next month." Sarah felt the old pattern trying to activate. Smile, agree, disappear. But she also felt something new, her hum clear and calm. "Marcus, can we talk about something?" He looked up, sensing the shift in her tone. "Yeah, of course. I need to be honest with you about something, and I should have said this months ago." She took a breath. "I'm not ready to move in together, and I don't know when I will be. I love having my own space, and I need more time." The silence felt like an eternity. Marcus's face went through several emotions: confusion, hurt, then something else, understanding. "Why didn't you tell me this when I first brought it up?" "Because I was afraid," Sarah said. "Afraid you'd be hurt. Afraid you'd leave. Afraid of not being the person you wanted me to be." "Sarah," Marcus said quietly, "I'd rather be with the real you who doesn't want to move in than the fake you who pretends she does." She felt tears coming. "Really? Really, I mean, yeah, I'm disappointed. But I can handle disappointment. What I can't handle is dating someone who's playing a character." They talked for 2 hours that night. Really talked. Sarah shared things she'd been holding back for years. Her need for alone time. Her actual feelings about his friends. Her career ambitions that conflicted with his plans. And you know what happened? Their relationship got stronger, not weaker, stronger. Because for the first time, Marcus was dating the real Sarah, and she was worth knowing. Chapter 7. The Meeting. 6 months after her first session with Dr. Tanaka, the moment came. Another meeting, another flawed plan from her boss. The same expectant faces around the table. "Sarah, your thoughts?" She felt her hon clearly. The plan had 3 critical flaws. She had a better approach. She needed to say so. But she also felt her tatame. The awareness of her boss's ego, the political dynamics, the best way to land the message. She spoke. "I think there's real potential in this direction, and I want to help make it successful. I've been analyzing similar projects, and I've noticed 3 patterns that tend to create challenges. Could I share those observations? I have some thoughts on how we might address them proactively." Her boss nodded. "Go ahead." She laid out the flaws clearly, professionally, respectfully. She offered solutions. She made it collaborative, not confrontational. When she finished, her boss was quiet for a moment. Then, "These are excellent points. Let's incorporate these changes before we proceed. Thank you, Sarah." After the meeting, her colleague pulled her aside. "That was masterful. How did you disagree without making him defensive?" Sarah smiled. "I'm learning to speak my truth without being a jerk about it." Chapter 8. The Real Freedom. A year after her first session, Sarah sat in Dr. Tanaka's office for what would be their last appointment. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Different," she said. "I still have tatame, I'm still polite. I still consider other people's feelings, but I don't disappear anymore. I'm there, underneath it all." "That's the wisdom," Dr. Tanaka said. "Honey and tatame aren't opposites, they're partners. Your honey is your anchor. Your tatame is your sail. The anchor keeps you from drifting. The sail helps you navigate the wind." He handed her a piece of paper with Japanese characters. "This is a saying. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. You know this one?" Sarah nodded. She'd heard it used to justify conformity. But here's the part people forget. The saying continues, "But the nail that bends survives." You don't have to be rigid. You can be flexible without breaking. You can adapt without disappearing. Sarah looked at the paper. So it's not about not caring what people think. It's about not losing yourself while caring. Exactly. The person who genuinely doesn't care what anyone thinks is a sociopath. The person who only cares what others think is a ghost. The wise person navigates between these extremes. Chapter 9. The Three Principles. Before Sarah left, Dr. Tanaka gave her 3 principles to carry forward. Principle 1. Know your core. Identify the non-negotiable parts of yourself, your values, your boundaries, your true desires. These are your honi. Protect them fiercely but quietly. Principle 2. Choose your battles. Not every moment requires brutal honesty. Sometimes grace and diplomacy serve you better, but never confuse strategic silence with self-betrayal. Principle 3. Deliver truth with kindness. You can say almost anything if you say it with respect. The goal isn't to prove you're right. It's to honor your truth while maintaining the relationship. One more thing, Dr. Tanaka said as she was leaving. The people who truly love you will prefer your honest no to your resentful yes. And the people who can't handle your honesty aren't your people. Chapter 10. The New Life. 2 years later, Sarah barely recognizes her old life. She declined the promotion that would have required 60-hour weeks. She told her mother, gently but firmly, that she needed to stop the comparisons. She ended a friendship that had been one-sided for years. And with Marcus, they still haven't moved in together, but they're engaged. Because he proposed to the real Sarah, not the agreeable ghost she used to be. Her co-workers describe her differently now. Sarah's diplomatic but direct. She'll tell you the truth, but she does it in a way that makes you want to hear it. The anxiety that used to keep her up at night has faded. Not because people always agree with her, but because she's no longer at war with herself. She still uses tatame. She's still polite, still considerate, still thoughtful about how she delivers difficult messages. But underneath the grace is steel. Underneath the flexibility is a core that doesn't bend. One day, a younger co-worker pulled her aside. "How do you do it? How do you stand up for yourself without being difficult?" Sarah thought about it. "I learned that there are 2 ways to disappear. One is to be so agreeable that you vanish. The other is to be so abrasive that no one wants to be around you. The wisdom is learning to exist fully in between. The system for you. Now let me talk directly to you. You're watching this video because some part of you has disappeared. Maybe it's small. Maybe you've buried your true self so deep you've forgotten it exists. Here's what I want you to understand. You don't need to become brutally honest. You don't need to burn your life down. You don't need to stop caring about others. You just need to stop erasing yourself. Start with Dr. Tanaka's 3 questions tonight. 1. What did I want to say today but didn't? 2. What did I agree to that I didn't actually want? 3. If no one's opinion mattered, what would I have done differently? Write for 2 weeks, just observe. Don't judge yourself, just notice how often you disappear. Then start with level 1. Express your true preferences in low-stakes situations. What you actually want for dinner. The movie you'd prefer to watch. Small truths to rebuild your voice. Then level 2. Set boundaries with grace. I appreciate the invitation, but I need to rest tonight. I hear what you're saying and I see it differently. Then level 3. Identify your core, your non-negotiables, the places where compromise equals self-betrayal. Defend these calmly but absolutely. Remember, Hane is your truth, tateme is your delivery. You need both. The goal isn't to stop caring what people think. The goal is to stop disappearing while you care. If this video resonated with you, do me a favor. Comment below, what's the one truth you've been afraid to speak? Make it real. Make it honest. That comment is your first act of hon. And if someone you know is slowly disappearing beneath the weight of everyone else's expectations, share this video with them. Sometimes people need permission to exist again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time and attention. See you in the next video. And remember, be present, walk with honor, follow the path, but make sure it's your path you're following.